guys, it's Brittany
and Darren,
and we're Eclectic Soul, and we want to come to you with a completely different style video today.
Taking it down a different alley.
Yes, we are, because we want to talk about like our struggles as an interracial couple, and we have those all the time. Let me tell you. So
it's a different world.
It's a different world because
me.
we come from two different worlds, and I know that everyone does when you marry two different cultures or whatever, but when you come from like two different nationalities and races, it's like a culture within a culture, like subcultures, and it creates a lot of potential problems, I would say.
It's almost like it's a social language barrier.
Yes,
it's a good way to put it.
Yeah, so for those of you guys who are like bilingual, or for those of you guys who want to communicate with someone and you're monolingual, and they're monolingual and you guys don't speak the same language, then think of it like that, but like on a relational level. So it adds a little bit more, I guess, like tension potentially to the situation. So we just wanted to, I guess, just kind of spill our guts a little bit about our biggest struggles and like just talk about it a little bit. So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? I guess we can just do one thing, like our biggest struggle isn't like a...
Yeah. I think as far as biggest struggles currently is just lack of understanding on my part. You know, in a lot of ways, I find that like there are certain things that I don't pick up on that I haven't had to take notice of just in my life. Growing up, when you are white, and this is something like when you read and you research and then you observe, you realize that a lot of social constructs are designed around white, and so you hear things like white privilege, you hear things about you live in like a white world or a white society or anything like that, and it really is true that there are things that are geared and designed to cater towards white people, and it's just interesting because you go through your life and it's like you don't have to concern yourself as much with of course, like being discriminated against. You're consistently told that you're right, you're the best, you can do anything that you dream of and anything that you want to do, and you can even just move forward. There are a lot of things that I've seen where it's just like you just got to get out there and you got to suck, or you got to write some bad stuff, or you got to do some bad stuff first, and then you'll then that's when you start getting into your good work and your good merit. There's so much grace that's affiliated with it, as far as social grace. I mean, you see a lot of things in the news about police and things like that. I mean, being white, a white male specifically, I've never been fearful of being pulled over by the police. I've made some really big faux pas in a police situation that could have bbeen really bad had my skin been black, or brown, or anything else. Like it's one of those things that like you don't think about it. A lot of times you get pulled over by me personally. I get pulled over by the police. It's like, how's this going to affect my insurance? How's this going to affect, my driving? I'm serious. And it's true. And I've had two different worlds. You dig? Yeah. And there was here's a quick example. I got pulled over, and as the police officer approached, I just started reaching towards the glove box, just to get my insurance card, and I was like doing this, and they were like, whoa, what are you doing? And I was like, I was getting my insurance card, and then it was kind of smoothed over, and that was the extent of it. But I drove away.
Lando Castillo, however.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you drive away, and I think back, and I'm like, you know what? That would have been a different situation had I been black, And it's true. And that's the thing. Is like, the thing is with this, like the whole design of this video, we really do want to
yeah, there's no air on in here.
We want to keep it nice and
we
quiet.
roasting because this is an electric car, so we're charging, which you can actually see right there.
Taking advantage of our time.
Yeah.
While
please
charging.
forgive the fanning, but
yeah. And if I start to sweat profusely, it's all right.
It's worth it for the culture and for the cause.
Exactly. The whole purpose of this video is to to give people insight, you know, the differences, and even the differences, you know, the specific things that we notice as a couple, you know, that we witness in a day to day, the way people look at us, the way people treat us. You know, a good example, we had a situation, and this is just on a very small level, but just the day to day, these are the things you have to take notice of. Going to a restaurant, me getting something, and I walk up. It's kind of like a freestyle, you know. You walk up and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna order this, I'm gonna order this, I'm gonna order this, and it's like the person's like, oh yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, and they go down the whole line, you know, just giving that like over the top service. Britt walks up right behind me, and the person not knowing that we're together, just completely treating her differently. No, yes ma'am, nothing like that. Real like short, you know, okay, just take your order, let's move it along. And so there's those differences that you see, and how people treat us just as a couple, and it happens with anybody, like anyone else that I am around, you know, any of my black friends, you know, if we go out, you know, it's something that I have had to condition myself to be cognizant of and really pay attention to, because it exists, you know, and it's those small differences, you know, that make such a big or it's the small actions that make such a big difference in our society. And so we have this video, you know, to really just kind of speak to our own, you know. It's like I can't, you know, I can't say anything to anybody and say, hey, well, you know, the reason that it's like this is because, you know, if black people did this, or if this were different, or if this one. No, it's like, what can I do? What can I do that's different? You know, what actions can I take every day to ensure that things are being set up equally across the board? People are being treated equally across the board. And I think that's one reason why, you know, we've been brought together, is to really bridge those gaps, you know. And, you know, we want to take advantage of our channel and what we do to really give insight to things that we experience. And if we experience something, you know, we're going to put it up. We'll put it up, and hey, you know what? Here's a complete different situation, you know, that we encountered. You know, maybe, you know, some exchanges needed to be made with someone who was, you know, either discriminating, but we just want to bring it, like, just shed a little light on it, you know. And we really want to help, you know. We want to help people grow closer together more than anything. It's not a blame game. It's not a
bickering session or anything like that.
No.
It's us trying to come together. And one of the things that we want to do with our channel is also be very transparent about our relationship.
Sure.
And Darren kind of touched on that. And a lot of the struggles that we have, and like so many of our disagreements and things come up as a result of like racial relations, and just me feeling a certain way about something and him not being aware or cognizant, and us trying to come together and find some common ground. Because it's one thing, you know, before he met me, it was like he was just a white male in society, and, you know, I'm the first black girl that he's ever dated. He's the first white guy that I've dated, and so we kind of entered in not necessarily knowing what to expect, but we have grown so much just from communicating with each other. And I think the biggest struggle for me has been feeling alone sometimes, if I'm being real, because just from a like honest true standpoint, I know that Darren does work to understand what I'm going through, but so many times I know that he doesn't, and that has been so frustrating to me. Like, I just wish that he could feel what I feel. And it makes me so angry to hear people say things like, oh, it's not a big deal, and you're overreacting and you're overanalyzing it. It's like, I mean, you could say that if you were me and you had my experiences, but a lot of times people say things like that and they're not like aware at all. They're completely oblivious to what's going on. And initially when Darren and I first started dating, it was really like just angering me, because I would tell him that I saw things and he would say that he would like question what I'm saying. Like, I'd be like, why would I make this up, you know? And we learned to, oh my God.
Well, it was only after witnessing it consistently over and over again. You know, it's like you take it and it's like, because I hadn't noticed it, it would be like, well, it was probably just a one-off, you know, or something like that. But then you start noticing things consistently and you're like, something seriously wrong here. You know, just as a society, there's just something wrong. And I'm sorry, like
no, I mean
capitalize on
you
that.
can.
Yeah.
You know I interject with you all the time, so I really don't care. But I never let him finish anything. I know that's bad. I'm working on that.
That's an extreme statement. You let me finish some things.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said never.
Never and always. Danger.
Danger zone. I know that those are like 2 words too. That I'd be like, oh my God, you always taking up for somebody and this white. I always say that. I'd be like, why are you taking up for them? But I think that we've grown our level of understanding of one another, and it's helped to really open our eyes to the truth.
Sure.
And it's also helped us like to consistently forgive one another, because we got into it like today about something like that, and it was essentially a situation where he didn't want me a part of something because I was black, and he did not tell me that. And it wasn't like he was ashamed of me or anything like that, because he told me he wasn't, but it was that he was trying to protect me, but he wouldn't tell me that he was trying to protect me because I was black. It was like, but I knew, and I just wanted him to be honest with me. And so when he wasn't honest with me, I found that very frustrating. But he said something to me that was like insightful, and that was, you know, well, it's hard for me to tell you I don't want you in this situation because of the color of your skin, you know? And I'm like, okay, that's not necessarily something that I can empathize with, because I can take him anywhere with me and he gonna get instant clap because he white, with black people or white people. You know, and with me, it's like, I'm not the same way. People look at me crazy, like, what are you doing here? I've been in so many situations where I've been the only black person and just felt really, really alone, you know? And Darren has been there to support me and to make me feel comfortable. And the longer we've been together, the more he's done that. Like, he's become my protector. And I just want to tell you that I really do appreciate that. And I know that I am alone in a sense in my experiences, but he wants to be a part of it with me. He listens to the way I feel about it. He listens to the fact, you know, like if I say, well, this is frustrating me, this is why, you know, he doesn't listen with a judgmental ear, and he doesn't give an excuse for why somebody did something they did. Even if he did something, he doesn't give an excuse for why he did what he did. But he's quick to own up and take responsibility. And even me, I have to be quick and own up and take responsibility when I say, you know what, I allowed this to get like spiral out of control and I lost my cool. Because I think that so many people are like trying so much just to understand one another and do the best they can in any relationship.
Sure.
And we make so many mistakes along the way. You know, I feel like that's a part of it, is you making mistakes. But when you can own up to the mistakes that you're making, even me, you know, and say, Darren, you know, I went after you too hard about that. And I'm sorry if I took out my frustration on your people, on you. You know, that's not fair. And I'm so grateful to you for your forgiveness, for your patience. And also for you just consistently putting yourself on the line for me.